Guys, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, as you can see by the title, I am going to be talking about my second Disneyland Paris audition experience. Just a disclaimer, I don't really want to go into too much detail about things because it is sort of a thing you're meant to experience in the actual audition. Like, a lot of things I shouldn't really explain too much because you're not really supposed to talk about things too much outside of the audition, and one of the rules is not to talk to the press. I know this isn't the press, but I feel like I still shouldn't talk about it too much. But I wanted to give like a little explanation of how the day went down and stuff and talk you through it a bit. If you haven't watched me before, you don't know me, my absolute #1 dream job is to work at Disneyland Paris, and I would love to be a character and parade performer. That is like the biggest dream ever. I have auditioned once before. I auditioned last year. I made a video on that audition experience too, which is on this channel, so if you want to check that out, then go ahead and check that out. I'll try and remember to link it down below, but if I forget, it'll be on this channel, so you can go ahead and find that. And I really wanted to keep going every few months when the auditions were, but I just couldn't get there, or there were on days that I wasn't available and stuff. But from now on, I've decided that no matter what, I need to make sure I audition every 3 months. That's usually how often they do auditions. I usually go to the Leeds one because that is the one that is easier to get to, and the other ones are in London, which is quite expensive. But I've decided that if there's absolutely no way I can get to the Leeds ones on a certain month, I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and go to London and pay the money, because I can't afford to keep missing out on auditions. Because if it's something I want, I need to just make sure I'm at every possible audition I can be. So I'm just going to have to spend the money, even though a lot of the time I might be spending all this money to get a train there to get knocked out after the first round. So it does seem a little bit like you're spending all that money for nothing, but it's important that I go even if I don't get past the first round. So that's what I'm going to do. But I managed to get to the Leeds one this month, and it had been a year since my last audition. Basically, I went with my boyfriend Luke last time, and I met up with a couple of friends whilst I was there too. But this time I went completely on my own, and no one else I knew was there or was going, so it was just me. And I really wanted to make some new friends because I love making new friends, and obviously all the people there have the same sort of goal as me. They want to work at Disneyland, and I think it'd be really fun to get to know them. Sometimes I struggle to approach new people. Like, I really like to make new friends, and once I get talking to someone, I'm much more confident, but it's that initial getting to talk to them. Obviously, if I was working at Disneyland and if I was a character or something, I would have the confidence to start conversations with people and stuff. It's kind of a different environment when you're in an audition space and you don't know who to talk to and stuff like that. But luckily, a lovely girl called Georgia, if you're watching this, Georgia, hello, she came up to me and said that she'd seen my first Disneyland Paris audition experience video, and that got us chatting, and we ended up sticking together for the rest of the day, which was really, really nice. So thank you so much, Georgia, for that. It was really lovely to meet you, and yeah, hopefully we'll get to see each other again at an audition soon. We are going to try and speak to each other about when we're next auditioning and see, you know, what we can do, and see if we'll get to see each other again, which we hopefully will. But I ended up sticking with her, and we both got to the same part of the audition process, so it meant that we were together throughout the whole experience, which was really, really nice. Honestly, I would say that this audition was extremely successful, which sounds a bit weird because I didn't get in, but I got to a point that I never expected to, and honestly I could have cried, and I feel like it seems weird to get so excited about it because I still didn't get the job, but it's just like one step closer, and it's crazy, and I'm just so happy. So we went into the audition, same as last time. We went in, we had to fill in a form before we went into the room, and then we got measured, and I've grown by 1 centimetre. Although a lot of people say how you're measured in the audition is more your Disney height, and it's not always accurate to your actual height. But last time I was 161 centimetres, and this time I was 162, which is about 5'3", which I would say is spot on. So yeah, I've grown 1 centimetre apparently. We got measured, and then we had to give in our form, and then me and my friend Georgia just sat and like stretched and stuff. and waited for everyone else to get measured and stuff, and then we started going through the animation round, which is the first round of auditions. We started going through the sequence. Obviously I did this part last year, but I didn't get past that point, and it was almost the same as last time, but it actually was quite different. Like, I was expecting it to be the same. I'd not heard anyone say any different online or anything, but I think it's because a lot of people try not to talk about it too much, again, because you're not really supposed to go into too much detail about it, and of course keeping the magic alive for those who believe in it and not ruining the magic. So I totally get that. But the first round was the animation round, and I didn't want to fully rehearse what I was going to do because I didn't want it to look overly rehearsed. I just was going through it at home and stuff and practicing a little bit about a general gist of how I would go about doing the certain characters or the certain characteristics, because basically you have to do a sequence where you walk forward as a cowboy or a cowgirl, then walk in a circle as a pirate, etc., and there's different ones like that. And so I gave it a like general overlook and a practice about, and like worked on how I would do it, but didn't fully rehearse like an official routine of exactly how I was going to do each section, just so I was a bit more prepared. And it definitely helped, because although I didn't have a fully rehearsed routine, I still had more of an idea of what I wanted to do, and it felt a bit more like it flowed better, but it also didn't look like I'd rehearsed something and put like a routine together, which I thought was so much better. And it was slightly different this time because there's usually just that one section that I'd gone over. There was actually an extra section added onto the end of the animation round this time, which was really cool and my favourite part of the whole thing. And it's basically working more on the character set side of things, so like a fur character, so when your face would be covered, so you're wearing the full shebang, if you get me. So Mickey, Minnie, Pluto, Donald, all of those sort of characters, and it was working on that and how you would perform. And they gave you kind of tips on it, so it made it a bit clearer, which I really appreciated. And I think I did really well at that round, actually, at that part. And we had to act as a certain character to a certain song. But I don't want to give it away. I know that's really annoying, but I don't want to give it away, because not just because like I'm like, oh, I don't want other people to get a better chance, because that's not what I mean, because you're not meant to really talk about it anyway, but also I loved finding out there and then what it was going to be, and it was awesome, and I was so excited to do it, and I just loved every minute of it. We did that round. Obviously we had a few practices, and we were split into smaller groups, so we had a bit more room to like animate ourselves more, and then it was into the groups of 10 depending on our numbers. I was number 135 this time, and last time I was a much higher number. I can't remember now off the top of my head. I did remember, but I just forgot it. But I was a slightly lower number this time, so I was in the first lot of people. They split the group of us in half because there was a lot of us, and half of them waited outside, which was what I had to do last time. I had to wait outside for the first lot of people, and the other half of people, who were the lower numbers, stayed in and then did their groups of 10. And Georgia, who I mentioned before, she was 134, so we were in the same group. And we did the animation round, and then if they call your number, you have to go. That is like it for you. They have decided that you're not right for it. It doesn't mean that you're ugly or you're terrible at performing or anything. You just don't necessarily suit what they're looking for at that particular time. And this is where I got cut last time. So I was stood there and I was like, they're going to say 135, and they were calling numbers. I think they went 130, 131, 132. I was like, here we go. And then they went, I can't remember if this was exactly the numbers they called out, but then it went up to like 138 or something. And I just remember hearing 138, and I was like, oh my god, they've gone past my number. No way, no way. They've got it wrong. They've got it wrong 100%. And they called the numbers and they were like, thank you, that's all for today. Those whose numbers weren't called, could you go and stand at this side of the room for me, please? So at this point, oh my god, I could cry. Oh my god, I know it seems so silly to get so like this over it, because I still didn't get all the way, and it just doesn't seem like I should be getting so excited over it, but it's such a big deal to me to even be slightly considered. Even from that point, they obviously saw me and thought, oh, I liked what she did, I'd like to see how she does in the dance round, and they wanted to see me, and they considered me, even for a little amount of time, to go on and work there. So that was insane, and I just remember thinking, oh my god, they haven't called my number. I'm through to the dance round. Oh my god, I got through. Oh my god, oh my god. And I had to go and stand at the other side of the room, and obviously, like I said before, me and my friend Georgia got to the same point, so her number didn't get called either. So we were both saying at the beginning, like, we were genuinely like, I know we're not going to get past the first round, but I suppose it's something that you work up to and stuff, and like, you're not always going to get it on one of your first auditions and all this. And yeah, we just really weren't expecting it. So when we both got through, we both looked at each other as we walked over to the side of the room. We were like, no way, did that just happen? And I was stood there watching all the other people audition, and I just wanted to cry. Honestly, it was an absolute dream come true, and I still can't wrap my head around the fact that that even happened. If you watch my other YouTube channels, you will know that I've really been struggling with my confidence. Not necessarily my confidence, just I don't really believe in myself. Like, I love performing and I love what I do, and I gave it my all in the audition, but I always think that I'm not good enough and I don't look right, and they would never want me to work there, they would never consider me to work there, and I'm never going to get my dream job. And I've been saying all this, especially closer towards the audition time. I got past the first round and it just completely proved me wrong, and I was like, oh my god, everything I've been saying isn't true. Because if I was really that bad, if I really didn't look a certain way, I know they might have just been considering me for fur characters or character sets, but even then I would be happy if that was what I got to do there. Even the fact that I was considered for it to get through to the next round proved me wrong, and now I know that I am capable and it is possible. I know that I could go to the next 10 auditions and not get past the first round, because again, you don't know what they're looking for. They could decide the next time I'm there, even though I got to the dance round this time, next time I go, they could just be looking for people who look like Cinderella and Prince Charming. And if I don't fit that look, then I might get cut straight away. But obviously what I did that day and how I am that day, it worked for what they were looking for. So that's amazing. And obviously a lot of people get cut after the first round. So the fact that I got through and they cut at least half of the people, if not more, and obviously there was a lot of us there, so it was just insane, honestly insane, and I just can't get over it. And it's just really made me believe that I will work there one day. And I know it doesn't mean that I'm going to get further and further each time, and like I said, I might not get anywhere for the next few times I audition or for a long time, but at least now I know that it's a lot more possible. And I really think that it is going to happen now, because if I work hard enough and I go every few months, I feel like I can do it. And that is such an amazing feeling that I've gotten to that point where I feel so much more confident in the fact that I can do it. Like, I've always known that I would be able to do it when I was out there, but it's like whether they'd want me or they'd ever pick me. But now I know that I've got a chance, and honestly, it was the best feeling in the whole world. And I didn't expect to get past the dance round either, which I didn't. After the dance round and after that audition, that is where I got cut. But that is what I kind of expected. So me and Georgia kind of said it might be even harder to get rejected after the dance round, because you've got even further and it's like extra hope added on. So then I feel like we were like, maybe it'll be even harder to get cut at that point because it hurts more. But honestly, after my first ever audition, my heart sank when I got cut after the first round. Even though I kind of expected it, my heart sank a bit. This time it didn't. I was just so happy. Obviously, I really wanted to get all the way, but I just knew that getting to that point was an amazing achievement for me, and I couldn't complain. Like, I just was beyond happy about that. I still can't believe it. It's insane, and when it's your dream job and you feel like you've got more of a chance at it, it's the best feeling in the whole world. So yeah, we got to the dance round. There was quite a few other people that needed to do their animation auditions, so we waited with that first half of the group while they were still doing their auditions, and when our half of the group had all auditioned, those who had been sent home obviously left, and those who got through, we had to go and sit outside while the other half of the group came and did their animation auditions. So when we went and sat outside, that's where we sort of went, oh my god, I can't believe that happened, and we just like had our little moment to be like, ah, and then so we could let it out a little bit. And then after the rest of them had auditioned, we went back in and they gave us time to get a quick drink, And then we stood in the space and started learning the dance routine, which again, I'm not going to show you the dance routine because one, I'm not really allowed to do that, and two, it's long and I'm not going to do a whole video teaching you the dance or showing you, and three, it's something you need to experience there. And it wasn't extremely complicated, but I did struggle a bit with it because you don't get as much time to learn it as you would if you were doing a dance class. You'd maybe do it over like a few weeks or something, or you'd get a longer time period. Although we did get longer than I expected. I literally thought she was going to whiz through it and then be like, go. And that's what I was nervous about, because I can pick routines up fairly quickly, but not that quickly. So when she spent more time with us on it, the woman who taught it, and she also helped us with the animation round, she's so lovely as well, so that was really nice. It wasn't like intimidating or anything, it was just so relaxed. And she just went through each section over and over a few times and then like pieced it all together, and we got plenty of practices of it. Obviously I was nowhere near perfect at it, and I still struggled with it because even though we got more time than expected, it still wasn't a lot of time. And I feel like in the actual audition, when we were in the groups of 10 again, that is where it went the worst. I think because there was less of us and it was more open, and I was front and centre because of my number. I was front and centre how it worked out, and I did struggle with it, and that is probably why I got cut. Although they said if there was a certain character that they were thinking for you to be that didn't need to dance or anything, it wouldn't matter as much. But unfortunately I still got cut, but that's fine because that's what I expected. And whilst I was doing the audition, I kept smiling, I kept really acting through it and giving it my all, even though at one point I was completely messing up all the footsteps, like totally, but I was still there smiling through it as if it was meant to happen. And that's the best way to go. They don't expect you to be perfect at the dance in that short amount of time. Obviously they like you to be, because they like to see how you dance in time with others. If you're going to be cast as a parade performer, they want to know that you'll be able to dance perfectly in time and exactly the same, so you all look, you know, in formation, like you look good as a group of dancers. So I think that's probably why I got cut, because I did struggle a little bit, but I know it's something that I would be able to do with more time. So hopefully the dance is quite similar next time. I don't know if they change it each time. I imagine they change it fairly often because they don't want people to have extra time to learn it, because it's unfair on those who have learned it for the first time. And I know that my boyfriend got to the dance round last year when he did it, and I asked him if the dance was the same, and I showed him some of it and he said it was different. So they've changed it in the space of a year, and obviously they changed the animation round slightly in the space of a year. So, but I don't know if they change it every 3 months. I know the animation round hadn't changed every 3 months, because I'd seen a lot of videos of people talking about it and it was all the same, the way they were explaining it. But I don't know if the dance changes each time, or just like once a year, or once every few months, like every few auditions. I don't know, but I really want to work on, I might just practice the dance anyway, just in case it is. I don't want to go in there like knowing it perfectly, because I don't want to look over rehearsed again, but I want to familiarise myself with it more. And even if the dance is different next time, it's still practice at a certain routine that would be similar to what we would do, and it's more jazz style. So if I practice it more, I feel like it will help me even if the routine's completely different, which sounds weird, but I think the more I practice that style of dance, the better. I am doing that style of dance fairly often, like at my rehearsals that I go to and stuff, but not as often as I should be if I go in to do the Disney audition. So I'm thinking of maybe getting private lessons on jazz and maybe working on it, just in case I get that far again, and then I feel a bit more prepared and I might do a bit better. But again, it doesn't matter if you can't dance, because you might still get through. I really enjoyed the dance, I really enjoyed the music. Although I struggled with the dance a little bit, like I said, I loved it. It was such a good dance. Again, it was just getting to learn a parade dance, which is a dream. I can't believe I got to do that. I got to learn a Disney parade routine and dance with all these amazing people, and it was just an absolute dream come true, even though I didn't get further than that. Obviously I was still gutted, but I was just so happy that that happened. It was just insane. We did that a few times and we split into smaller groups again, and then obviously in the groups of 10, and that is where I got cut. But to even get that far was amazing. After that stage, me and Georgia both got cut, unfortunately, but we both like had a little chat at the end. We added each other on Snapchat so that we could chat to each other afterwards and hopefully see each other again soon. And then we headed home. So overall, I am so happy with how it went, and it was one of the best days I have ever had. It really, truly was. The overall atmosphere of the audition was completely different to last year. I think you could sort of tell that they were looking for something very different last year. Like I said, that you never know what they're really looking for, and sometimes you can tell afterwards. After my first ever audition last year, it was quite clear that they were just looking for particular face characters, because the people who got through, they were all very similar, height and build, very, you know, you could tell by the faces, they had a very, you know, the very Disney look, and pretty much everyone who got through had that sort of look. Luckily, I was part of what they were looking for this time, and that's incredible. Just the atmosphere in general was so much more relaxed. I think because I'd experienced it before, I felt a little bit more comfortable. I'm really happy, really, really happy, and hopefully the more I go, someday it will happen, and I'm so ready for it. I hope you enjoyed this little video. I mean, it's probably quite long actually, it's probably not that little, but I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below if you've ever auditioned for Disneyland before and what your experience was like, if you've ever worked there before, if you work there now. Anything, let me know down below, and also any suggestions you have for Disney related videos for this channel. Don't forget to subscribe, and also subscribe to my main channel and my vlog channel, which will be linked down below, which is Esme Hill and Esme Extra. I think that's everything, but I will see you in the next video. Bye!